Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright, folks, let's get going! Hey everyone! So, as will be with a bunch of the videos going on right now and over the next couple of months, this video was made at a crop I went to back in the end of September. This particular page is going to be a double page layout for which I accidentally grabbed 3 pieces of paper for the page kit. I put together a bunch of page kits for this crop and I figured, hey, since I've got this extra piece of cardstock, I'll go ahead and take advantage and I'm going to mat 2 of my photos. A couple of things to note about the crop. I did draw up a bunch of sketches for anything I had that was a double page layout or basically any layout that had more than 2 photos. I also, for when I go to crops, I almost always pre-journal everything. So that means I just create a Word document that has all of my journaling on it. So that way, while I'm at the crop, I can just copy it over. I'm not trying to think up new words while tons of stuff is going on around me. So this layout has, oh sugar, let's see, 5 photos on it. 2 4x6 vertical, 1 4x6 horizontal, and then 2 3x4s. Those 3x4s have some washi tape across them simply because that has my nephew's name on them, and I just don't like putting his full name up on the internet. So this particular page kit is made up of a whole bunch of Paige Evans for Pink Paislee Take Me Away. I always know when it's Take Me Away because it has a slightly different color palette than the majority of her lines. So it's always easy for me to figure out which one this is. Now, I had this idea and it kind of worked out. It kind of messed it up just a little bit, but it's so tiny, the little mess up, that I just kind of let it go and I'm gonna be Elsa on this one and just not worry about it. So I have that ombre small design purplish paper that I trimmed off 1/4 of. So I've got 3/4 of the paper on one side and then 1/4 of the paper on the other. So now I have this purple ombre along with that coral. It's actually a mini polka dot, but I don't think you can really read that on the video. And what I'm doing is I'm gluing them down at an angle. Now, if you'll note at the bottom there, that's where the little mess up is going to be. There just isn't enough paper to have it reach all the way to the bottom, but like you're talking about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just not going to let it bother me. What I am thinking right now is that's a lot of paper to waste, so I end up trimming off both the purple watercolor and the coral mini dot, and I'm going to use them all the way over on the left-hand side to bring some color over onto that side. So I'm just going and trimming off what the overhang is on my paper. There's a little bit of overhang on the top, and then that's where I really realized that there was quite a bit, not quite a bit, like 1/8 of an inch um, gap at the bottom, and I wasn't totally happy with it. And I'm actually kind of looking at it going, do I hate it? Do I need to find something to cover it? And I was thinking, oh, I'll just find something to cover it. But to be honest, by the time I started embellishing and getting everything laid down, I completely forgotten about it, and my eyes really never went to it again. So that's why I just decided not. I don't even end up really covering it or anything. So as I said, with the left-hand side, I'm just going ahead and I'm going to use that purple watercolor and the coral piece. And so I'm just going to run some ATG down the left-hand side of that cardstock. So I'm just going to trim that off, and then I'm going to repeat the exact same thing, only with the coral piece of cardstock on that left-hand side as well. Now, once I get that, I'm liking the way this is looking. Oh, and I also did add that multicolor hexagon piece over on the right. That was actually my favorite pattern paper from this collection, and I use that on a lot of different layouts and just like I'm like I want to just savor it and take small bites of it. So I finally used the last of it on this particular layout. So as I was saying, I like the way things are looking, but it's very angular. So I grab this stencil I bought actually while I was in Minnesota. That's where this crop is taking place. And this is a Tim Holtz. It's actually a Halloween um, stencil. It's supposed to go with like Halloween things. So it's a bunch of stars in a swirl. And then I pull out my Distress Oxide in, oh, sugar, what's that color called? Concord, something or other, Concord. Purple. It's a dark purple. And then I pull out one of my blending brushes, and I'm just going to use that and to create a little bit of curve on my layout. And that's my one thing with a double page layout is a lot of the times it can end up looking very angular. And I don't mind angular. I love a good grid design and everything, but sometimes I need to add some different shapes in. And that's why this, and this here's where I realized, oh yeah, you never tape down that piece of pattern paper, you dum dum. But as I was saying, I always like to add just a little bit of non-liney things when I go to do my double page layouts. I like to put things at an angle or add a lot of circles or anything. I think that really just helps soften up the angularity that ends up happening in a double page layout. Aw, for those of you who don't know, I did break my T-square ruler while I was at the crop. So, it's kind of like a memorial. All of these videos were, and I use my T-square ruler a lot in this particular crop. And now I get to look at it and its little broken self now. Poor T-square ruler. All right, so talking about the photos, um, the photo I'm gluing down right now that is matted, that is my nephew and two of his friends. He actually went to kindergarten through fifth grade with them, and then they went to our town's middle school and high school, and he went to a magnet school, but they kept in touch, and all of them, what this actually is the scholarship dinner from our town. Our town, when you apply for a scholarship, um, they have a little cheese and fruit appetizer thingy, and then they have an award ceremony. And all three of them received scholarships from our town, and so that was super awesome. And the only thing is they do it alphabetically, and while I don't share my nephew's name, I will tell you he is at the beginning of the alphabet, and then you have to sit there for 2.5 hours. And I kid you not, we were there at 5:30. We did not leave until almost 9 p.m. So it was a long night, and it's a good thing they had food because we were starving. Anyway, sorry, rambling there. I use these puffy word and phrase stickers that are from, I believe they're from the Horizon line. And so my title is going to be Time for a New Adventure. And that's what I'm talking about because, well, the thing about with it being about the scholarship dinner, and obviously I'm talking about the scholarship dinner, another thing is, they're all stepping into this new phase of their lives. They all are going to three different colleges, and nowadays it's so much easier to keep in touch with people you used to go to school with. Like they kept in touch through Instagram and Snapchat and texting and all of that stuff. So it's not as weird as, when you used to go off to school and you wouldn't really talk to people for a couple months at a time. So anyway, I'm completely rambling. I apologize. I have been embellishing. I have been using the chipboard pieces from Take Me Away, those mirrored pieces, those are also from Take Me Away. Those little circular chipboard pieces, those are actually from Freckled Fawn. And I just felt they went with the Take Me Away line, so I just kind of chucked them in there. Oh, and I'm showing you, actually, I went and got coffee while that I had a little break in here. I had started journaling, and then I'm like, someone's like, we're going for coffee. And I'm like, wait for me. And so I went for coffee. And when I came back, my friend Jeannie had put these little stickers on everyone's desk, and it says, live a great story. And I thought that was super, super cute. And then it had that little birdie charm as well. And I'm showing you now that, look, I went and got coffee. So I'm finishing up my journaling and I'm just talking about that. We went to the scholarship dinner and I'm talking about how they're all off on a new adventure and how exciting and scary it is, but they know they will all do amazing. Sorry, so I got lost in my Uber rambling. I didn't mention over on the right hand side, I did use that die cut of books. I've had that and I've kept that. I'm like, you know what? Scholarship has to do with studying and all of that school stuff. So I'm totally going to use that along with the word joy. And I cover up a lot of those stars over there, but I'm okay with that. I did go ahead and skip ahead while I was gluing things down. I am also adding a couple of these multicolor, watercolory, puffy hearts that kind of mimic the ones in the mirror and they also mimic the title. So I liked pulling those colors in. And then I was signing some thank you cards for some of the ladies who helped put together the crop. So I did cut away from that. I'm actually almost finished here and I'm just kind of looking and thinking, what do I need? What can be added? I'm making sure I've got all of the protective plastic on all of the mirrored items pulled off. Usually just running a nail down the front of that pulls them off really easily. I found that's the best way to get that off. And I decide, you know what this needs? It needs enamel dots. I had added those into my page kit, and these are actually some older ones from Basic Gray in shades of blue and green. And I'm just going to spread them around my layout. And I think the final thing I'm going to do is add some Heidi Swap gold color shine. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did I go for the navy instead? Oh, no, not Heidi Swap at all. Instead, it is Shimmers in the color Princess. And that is going to complete my layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. And as I said in the beginning, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Bye, everyone.